Welcome to the 19th episode of United Talk, ladies and gentlemen. We just had an FA Cup game against Chelsea that just got over. And what were your thoughts, Annie?
Hey guys, hey AK. Well, it was a disappointing result for Man United, especially given the way we started the game, 2-0 up within 12 minutes. And I really thought that the backlash that we expected from United after the disappointing result against Madrid was going to happen and we were going to sweep Chelsea aside. But we were very tentative in the second half. We were very sloppy in possession, and Chelsea really grew into the game. Rafa Benitez, credit to him, making two substitutions which changed the dynamic of the game. Hazard scored a brilliant goal to bring them 2-1, and on the break, after we lost the ball, Ramirez has gone and equalized. And in the end, I suppose we were fortunate to escape with the draw because Chelsea in the second half were completely dominant and we were really disappointed in the second half. I think substitution of Nani going off and Valencia coming on really did not help in terms of keeping the ball because Valencia was not able to really control the ball well and keep it in tight spaces. He kept running into blind alleys, and I thought we were just really disappointed in the second half and lost the game.
Definitely, as you said, this game was pretty much an perfect example of a game of two halves. How in football nothing is certain until the final whistle. And with United going 2-0 up inside the first 10 minutes, I genuinely expected this to be an easy ride. And I expected them to score another goal, especially when we played so well in the first half. Yeah. With Nani getting involved and Rooney influencing the game and Hernandez making all kinds of runs. Yeah. But, second half, back came Chelsea. As you said, the substitutions really influenced the game. And Hazard, great goal. But more than that, I think Hazard brought a level of physicality along with a level of technical brilliance that I don't think Moses was able to bring at his time in the pitch. And I think definitely with Hazard on the pitch, Mata got more space to create, and Oscar and Hazard and Mata interchange a lot, which resulted in the defenders being very confused. So it was a good move by Benitez.
Yeah.
And he also brought on John Obi Mikel, I thought, which was a very, I'd say an underrated substitution, because Obi Mikel, what he did his job to perfection today. Kept the ball, kept the game ticking, made some crucial interceptions. And with Obi Mikel on the pitch, Ramirez was able to get forward more, and he ended up scoring the decisive second goal, which brought them level to 2-2. But I'd say very disappointed for Manchester United. I think to be 2-0 up and to not close the game out, I think that is it's very disappointing, because when you look at good teams, what differentiates them from great teams is the fact that they can't close out games like great teams can. And I think for United, this United team to truly evolve, they'll need to close out games with more frequency.
You made a very good point of the substitution of Mikel giving Ramirez a license to go forward, because I think the first half Chelsea were tentative because Lampard was in midfield and Ramirez perhaps fearing for the legs of Lampard, so he's having to sit back. But that terrific pace on the break for Chelsea when they got the equalizer, Ramirez doing really well to come inside and manage to squeeze a shot past De Gea. But you're right. We should have really closed the game out. Sir Alex saying before the game that we'd back ourselves versus anyone at home in the FA Cup. You want a home draw. And now, of course, we're going to have to play a replay at Stamford Bridge. It's a very packed schedule, and I don't know when the FA are actually going to manage to schedule a match. And so it's not something that we needed. Chelsea are definitely going to be confident at Stamford Bridge. But nevertheless, we have to keep going, and this is a competition we really want to win. So I hope Sir Alex really puts out a strong team for the replay and that we get the job done.
Definitely. Let's talk about that first goal that Manchester United scored. What do you make about that?
Oh, it's an incredible pass from Michael Carrick. He's looking the wrong way for starters, and he's done a fantastic reverse pass. When he made the pass, I was thinking, who is he passing to? And Hernandez hasn't even started running.
Exactly.
Replay. When Carrick makes contact with the ball, Hernandez is static, and he just anticipates the movement, anticipates that Hernandez will get to the ball ahead of Cahill, anticipates the brilliant finishing by the Mexican, which of course has happened. And we were talking before the game and saying that we probably back Hernandez to score versus Chelsea.
Definitely, yes.
And he's done the job. Great header, he's placed it perfectly.
He's caught it right.
There's no other way he could have hit it into the goal. And,
Definitely.
Just looped over Czech absolutely helpless.
Yeah, I think Czech caught no man's land, and I think Hernandez caught the header perfectly with the right amount of spin and power as it nestled in the far corner. But yeah, great pass by Carrick. And what really surprised me was the fact that when I looked at the replay, Hernandez hadn't made a run.
Yeah.
So effectively, Carrick had passed without knowing where his teammate was going to be. But I think it's just absolutely superb. I don't know whom to credit more, Hernandez for anticipating the pass or Carrick for anticipating the run. But either way,
it shows that two teammates have a completely perfect understanding of this game, and I think this pass really culminates in what has been a fantastic season for Michael Carrick.
Definitely.
Always criticized by some sections of the United faithful. We always thought he wasn't really pulling his weight, and
Even we used to criticize him so much.
He's quite underrated in some respects, but also on the other hand, he wasn't really helping himself. But this season, he stepped up to the plate, taken so much responsibility in the center of the park, and just very tidy in possession, extremely well defending as well.
Yeah, I think Michael Carrick has realized that he is now one of the senior heads of the squad, and this squad is young and exciting, and you need senior heads in order to calm everybody down and to have experience to know how things are going to shape out at the end of the season. I think Carrick has really stepped up to the plate this season, because with Giggs and Scholes not logging as many minutes as they used to, the onus has fallen on players like Carrick, Ferdinand, Evra to really take up the mantle of the previously departed greats and to keep this United team ticking. And let's talk about the second goal though, which I thought was a bit bizarre, but what do you make of that?
I thought it was, you'd have to say, Wayne Rooney, that's a delivery into a fantastic area, first of all. It's a great free kick, and it's causing all sorts of trouble. I thought Czech could have definitely done better with that.
Exactly.
Sort of give up on the ball quite early. And you saw Evra on the line trying to get his head to the ball. But there was no need for that, of course. So great free kick from Rooney. He's got great delivery from set pieces, and some of his corners were a threat as well. What did you make of the goal?
Oh, definitely. I thought Czech once again caught in no man's land for the second time in 10 minutes, which is pretty surprising for a goalkeeper of his caliber. But more than that, I thought the free kick was just the right amount of pace and power in order to confuse Czech, but not be, overhit or off target. And I think it was, as you said, put in a great area where, any number of players could have got a touch to it and would have gone in. Absolutely. But credit to Wayne Rooney, he's really improved his set piece taking to the point where he is now United's first choice set piece taker.
Yeah.
And we had another...
Who were your top three players from that game?
Top three players. It's so difficult. I said the thing about the game of two halves and how United regressed so poorly in the second half, and it just really... It was painful to watch at times when they got the ball and kept giving it away. But I'll have to give my top player of the match to Michael Carrick. I think we talked about that pass for the first goal, and we talked about his influence on the pitch. But more than that, the fact that Michael Carrick was the first to every ball put in the box, and really screened the back four so well, especially when players like Ramirez and Lampard were bombing forward from that central midfield area. Michael Carrick was tracking back and doing what he had to do.
And I think another thing about Carrick's play is that he's a very clean player for a defensive midfielder. I mean, you can
definitely
count on, one hand the amount of yellow cards he's got this season probably.
Yeah, and very less fouls as well.
Very underrated.
I think when we talk about his technique, we often talk about his style, his passing and his movement, but it's also the timing of his tackles, which is, arguably as good as any modern central defender playing in today's game, which is fantastic. For my second top player, I have to give it to Javier Hernandez. I thought, once again, I'm stopping just because I didn't like how United played today, aside from those first 10 minutes. But Javier Hernandez, a threat throughout the game, making great runs, getting caught offside, as is his job. But first goal was superb, I really enjoyed it. And more than that, I think Hernandez brings just that level of attacking threat on the pitch, and he confuses defenders, he scares them to the point where even if he's not involved in a goal, his movement and just his attacking threat will be unsettling defenders.
He brings a lot of unpredictability into our forward play.
Definitely. I think he doesn't have to get involved in any build-ups. He doesn't have to make those short passes or make a touch or anything. But he has to be there to finish, and he does that time and time again. A very reliable second scoring option from the bench. And for my top third player, I have to give it to Nani. I wanted to give it to David De Gea. I did. But I felt, it's my opinion, I'm sure people will disagree with me, that he could have done more about Eden Hazard's first goal. But I'm giving it to Nani because in the 45 minutes he was on the pitch, he was arguably the most dangerous player. Not in terms of attacking movement, in terms of what he could do with the ball. First of all, he won the free kick that led to Rooney scoring the second with a great burst of pace, which we have expected with Nani. But more than that, he continued to switch flanks, scare defenders, run at them, cut back. But what really surprised me was that this time Nani didn't make, poor judgment. He didn't have didn't make any bad decisions. When he had to pass the ball, he passed it. When he had to dribble, he dribbled it. And I think Nani had a great 45 minutes, and it was so disappointing for me to see him go off and being replaced by Valencia. And your top three? And your top three?
I would have to agree with you for the top player being Michael Carrick for all the reasons you mentioned. He's so stylish on the ball, but as you said, his defense has a lot of technique to it as well. And one thing I've noticed, which I've been noticing throughout the season, is when opposition wingers get to the byline and cross the ball, sort of cut it back towards the penalty spot, Michael Carrick is always there. He's always marked in that area. Nothing gets past him, and he reads the game brilliantly. And for my second player, I have to give it to Rio Ferdinand. I thought he really was our best defender out there today. I thought Johnny Evans and Patrice Evra had days to forget.
Definitely.
But Rio was first to every ball in the air, was clearing everything, and very stylish as well on the ball. And off the ball, a great incident involving him and Fernando Torres, where he basically kicked Torres and then asked him to stand up.
Well done, Rio. I'll go ahead and say it. Forget sportsmanship. Well done, Rio. Knock him down, put him back up, show him who's boss, scare him. He's made himself...
indeed quite hilarious. But for my last player, I'd have to give it to David De Gea, simply for that absolutely Batman-esque incredible save from Mata at the end of the game. That was absolutely fantastic, because you do not expect a goalkeeper to save that. I thought when Mata brought the ball down and faked Johnny Evans that we were lost.
It was done, exactly.
We're out of the FA Cup, and De Gea has just pulled something out of the bag.
I literally had my head in my hands. I couldn't even look. And then I just see David De Gea standing there, and then the ball's gone out. And I was like, why isn't it in the back of the net? What happened? Yeah. But credit to David De Gea, really kept us in the game, and he earned us the replay, arguably.
Yeah. Well, moving on now, just a short review of the rest of the action in the FA Cup, 3 other quarterfinals, of course. And Man City trashing Barnsley as expected, 5-0. What did you make of that result?
Well, there's nothing much we can say. I mean, this is Barnsley, and that is Man City. You have the Premier League champions on one hand, and you have a lower league team on the other. So the fact that Barnsley made it to the quarterfinals is, I think, credit enough to them. Yeah. And they would have liked to arguably go on and, live every small team's dream. But Man City are a professional team, well coached, well managed. They've had their problems this season, but they're still in the FA Cup, and now they're in the draw for the semi-finals. So I hope if we get past Chelsea, we wouldn't have to see them until the final.
Absolutely. And talking about a small team perhaps making a big, Wigan with a shock of the round probably, beating Everton 3-0 away from home. An absolutely incredible result in my view. What did you make of that match?
Well, stunning result, because if you look at just the caliber of the two teams, you have Wigan, who I think are well managed by Roberto Martinez. But on the other hand, you have Everton, overachieving this season. Marouane Fellaini playing in top form. They've got Leighton Baines playing excellently at left back. And they've got a great manager in David Moyes, who's continuously improved and impressed in the league season after season. But Wigan Athletic scoring 2 goals in 3 minutes and then just riding it out for a 3-0 win. And now they're in the semis.
Incredible. Well done, Wigan, indeed. And lastly, of course, there was a dull 0-0 draw involving Blackburn and Millwall, and they'll be having a replay as well, of course. So no idea yet on 2 of the semi-finals, because 4 teams still with a chance of getting there. Well, lastly, we have predictions for the upcoming game. Reading at home in the league. What are your predictions for that game, AK?
Well, Reading are now at the bottom of the table, and Manchester United at the top. Now, I, as any logical fan, or indeed any logical person in general, would be predicting a Manchester United win. I'm assuming Salas will feel the weaker side, particularly now that we have an FA Cup quarterfinal replay on our hands. Yeah. But not having the Champions League could perhaps prove to be a small bonus, as arguably we only have 2 more competitions to play for now. So I'm probably looking forward to a weaker team, but I'd expect a 2-0 win. Just a standard 2-0 win. I agree
with you on that, 2-0 win indeed. But I do have one hope from that, and that is that the Old Trafford surface improves before the next game. I think today,
definitely,
was absolutely terrible. Some of the touches by the players, surely it couldn't have been the players, because everyone was
shocking performances. I mean, I can count on 2 hands how many times Rafael slipped on that right flank. I don't know what's going on over there, but it was absolutely disgraceful. And for a pitch, for a stadium, in fact, as glamorous as Old Trafford, they need to sort it out. Because United's style this season has been all about short passing and quick movement, and they can't do that with a bad pitch.
Yeah.
And lastly but not leastly, we'd like to thank everybody who's been watching our videos. We've just reached 1,000 views yesterday, and we're so proud of everyone who's watched our videos. We'd like to thank you with the bottom of our hearts. When we first started this, we'd never thought we'd have anyone watch our videos, and just the fact that you guys have watched it, thank you so much to our subscribers, to our fans, to any random person who's been watching our videos. Thank you so much, and we'll continue to bring our opinions and our analysis to you week in, week out.
Thank you, guys, and most importantly, keep watching. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and please like our page on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. See you guys next week.
See you guys.